So, as I said, I want to work on the leather. So let's work on the leather, and I think for that we're going to just kind of do a bit of a black wash over it, and maybe we'll mix a bit of this blue. So it's like this black, dark blackish bluish leather, and then we'll take it from there. Diddy Kong? Shrug. I can't draw or anything like that, but I'm slowly sponging up inspiration for when I decide to stop being a coward to learn to draw. Oh, you should just draw. You should allow yourself to be bad. I think that's the best advice I can give to some, like, to drawing or painting or anything like that, is just allow yourself to be bad. And I feel that way about my own artwork too, like in my sketchbooks. For example, if you keep a sketchbook to draw, that's, you consider that your training dojo. That's like where you train. It's training mode. And when you're in training mode, you're allowed to be bad. You're allowed to fail. You're allowed to mess up your combos, right? So just be bad and just allow yourself to to do that. I keep on saying that, but like, and then you'll be free. You'll be free to just work and explore it, and then your mindset will shift, and you'll be like, okay, now I can just work on improving things, just one thing at a time. That's how I feel about painting and stuff too, like this, like model building and stuff. And it can be frustrating, don't get me wrong. It can like be very taxing emotionally to be invested in something and then it doesn't go your way or how you pictured it in your mind. That really sucks. I won't lie, that sucks. But yeah, it's never really gonna be amazing. It's never really gonna be 100% how you envisioned it in your mind, even for like professional artists. I think that what they've achieved is a state where they've gotten to a point where what they intend in their mind and what ends up on the paper is very close, but it's never 100% in my own experience. So yeah, I should just do it, man. Should just do it. And you were talking about being a coward. That's another thing too, that I felt like I had an advantage over like my other peers back at school, was like I was like fearless in some respects, or just dumb. And I would just kind of paint away, and there's a bit of confidence. It's weird to say, but there's an aspect of just exuding confidence, right? To painting. You wouldn't think so, right? But it's communicated in your brushstrokes. It's communicated in your line work. It's communicated in the way you draw. If you feel confident, if you have that confidence, it's actually transferred onto the paper. It's actually transferred through your brushstrokes or on computer or whatever, right? People can really feel that and sense that intuitively. So that's another thing I can say, is that if you were mentioning being a coward, it's like if you can overcome that, just fake it. What do they say? Fake it till you make it. Just get that confidence. Pretend you're someone that's confident even, and you can actually, you'll be like 40-50% of the way there. I kid you not. Kid you not. Eddie Spaghetti, what's up, Eddie? How's it going? You know, was it the other day? I was lurking in your stream. I saw you work on the blind, no, not the blind, the bag build. How did that go? Was that a failure? Because I think that there was some tears. You ruptured the membrane of your bag. Not slide. Painting models is actually the first time I've been fairly decent at anything artistic, so I figured I'd try to branch out a little further and dabble. Yeah, yeah, man, that's so awesome. And I don't know if you are sharing that artwork anywhere, but I would love to see it actually. And I won't say anything, like, if if you don't want criticism or anything, I won't, I won't be hard or anything. I just want to see it because I just like seeing people's artwork. That's cool. That's awesome, man. I could use a bit of that. I could use a bit of like inspiration and seeing other people work and do stuff and be creative. That makes me feel creative too. That's a weird thing for me personally, is how like I'll watch a video of a guy build a desk or something and I'm like, I'm inspired. I gotta do something. I gotta do something creative too. Or there's like this Japanese musician on YouTube, like Ichika Nito or something, and he just does guitar riffs. He just basically just comes up with like guitar riffs and stuff. And I'm like, I'm inspired. I gotta do something. I gotta paint. You know, it's like I derive some inspiration just from people doing creative stuff. Might not even be. The tips here, this is actually black with a little blue, and I think I kind of like that rather than straight black. Kind of has a bit more dimension to it, so let's actually do that on the tip of this horn here. But it's a really different kind of EG. Oh, really? So it's a highly specific variation of it. Oh. Interesting. By the way, guys, yesterday I joined the 21st century because I now have a Discord account. For the longest time, I just didn't have one. A lot of practically every stream that I go to and hang out in, and you guys probably know this too. Everyone is like, "Hey man, join the Discord. Hey man, check out the Discord. Hey man, you've got some artwork to show? Show it on the Discord." And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, Discord, guys. I know what that is. I know what it is to be a person living in the modern day. And secretly I'm like, I don't actually have Discord. What is this Discord? But yesterday, signed my ass up, and here I am. So yeah, I guess I will be making an appearance at your server. I don't even know what the proper terminology is. But yeah. I've even had a couple of people ask if I had one myself, like in terms of a server. Is that something I should do? Again, guys, I don't know jack about this, so is that something I should do, or is that something I should just kind of join other people's servers? I don't know. Mans is a boomer. Yeah, man, for sure. I was talking about this before, but I was looking up. I was looking up like what am I exactly? Am I a boomer? I actually don't know. And this article I was reading was saying I'm actually a geriatric millennial. Like that was a technical term. And I was filled with so much rage and fury at something so stupid sounding. A geriatric millennial. I felt like starting a fight. What the hell is that? You slacking better than dudes coming to you saying check me out on my OnlyFans? Yeah, I would have to pass on checking out a dude's OnlyFans. So wait, hold on a second. Are you saying you've been approached to check out some people's OnlyFans? And did you? Did you look at the OnlyFans? Discord. Yeah, you guys probably know Bacon. Uh, yeah, Notslide was mentioning Bacon, but like, uh, him and his partner, his podcast partner, have a Discord server for the Ludens query, and I joined that. That was the first because yeah, there's a regular here that was like kind of hounding me about getting Discord. So I was like, all right, well, I'll join your frickin' Discord thing. And I was poking around, and I was like, okay, I don't really understand. Well, I understand, but I don't think I'm gonna be using it much. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. That's why I kind of want to check out your guys' Discord if you've got like a cool thing going on. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, guys. If a homie went to Eddie and said, yo, check out my OnlyFans, I guarantee Eddie would join it, but never look. He would look. He'd take a little peek. Take a little peek. You know, just the tip. Just the tip. I'm a supporter of creators. I'm a supporter. I'm a supporter of the arts. That's what you need to say. I'm a supporter of the arts. Or I would look and gas up the homies like, nice. Hey, dude. Hey, dude. Nice cock. It's just really symmetrical. It's really proportionate. It's like out of a Renaissance painting. I also saw the hand tuber Eddie, very funny. That was good. Inventing the new meta. He's a pioneer. Just you wait and see. Just you wait and see. Amarantha's gonna steal it. That's how you know it's a big deal, and you'll be angry, you'll be furious. Like, I was the first. I was the one. It was me. Remember the whole hot tub thing? Holy shit. That was only last year. And everyone was on it. The whole hot tub shit. It was crazy. And Twitch went so far as to making like their own category, and then it just became like a wasteland of like ducks and gorillas spinning in a pool, and like Mr. Bean episodes with the occasional actual hot tub streamer. It's very, very weird. I mean, wait, you guys are going to TwitchCon, aren't you? Well, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna have like live broadcasting from a hot tub? It's like a cherub. A cherub? That's not a compliment though. That's them's fighting words if you telling a guy that he's got a little chubby cherub down there. I'll be like, you said what? What'd you say? You said it looked like a Renaissance painting? I don't know why they sound that way. Okay, so we need to go darker with the leather. So let's just take some pure black. Maybe this is fine. Hello homies are turning VTuber. You ain't got time to rigs, just drew my hand. I'm telling you, it's clever. It's clever. If I know anything about human nature, it's that everyone, it's very appealing to do the thing that's actually the easiest way to do it. So it's like, yeah, if uh, if we can just draw a face on our hand, let's go. Let's go. I was actually, so I have a hyper top secret project which I will disclose now, but I am presently working on a PNG tuber. And yeah, I've been drawing it and kind of thinking about how I want it to look. And I have some ideas on things I could do with it regarding rewards. But yeah, it's a PNG tuber, which is like a far more simplified kind of thing where it's just like a JPEG, right? Imagine like a PNG or a JPEG that's going to be in the corner. So it's like right here. And it basically will alternate between like an open mouth state and a closed mouth state. Every time I talk, it should pick up the fact that the voice is being activated, right? The sound. And so the mouth moves, and I've seen the PNG tubers kind of just bounce like this in the corner. So yeah, I'm working on that. I want to get that finished up soonish, because there's going to be a lot of trial and error, I'm sure. I'm not a computer person, so everything takes me a very long time. But I'm working on the drawing right now. I mean, a full-on VTuber would be pretty cool. But yeah, I don't... that seems kind of beyond me at this point in time. I would have to seek out help if I wanted to do that. Oh, really, Not Slide? That's sick, dude. One of your viewers designed a VTuber for you? Damn, that's sick. I haven't seen that. That's cool. You want your character to be an eggplant? Yeah. I think that's doable. I'm just lazy. Can I just say that? Like I don't show my face, right? I think maybe someday I will, but really, it's not that I'm horribly disfigured or anything. It's really rooted in laziness. It's all rooted in laziness. Because if I get the camera going on my face, then I actually have to like make sure I look like a presentable human being every freaking time I want to stream. And I ain't got time for that. I don't know. I'm just too lazy. But ironically enough, the entire effort, the entire endeavor that I'm now pursuing to create a VTuber, or rather a PNG tuber, has amounted to just as much work as if I wanted to just show my face on camera. So yeah, I will pursue a way to get out of one lazy thing, even if it means a whole lot more work that would have amounted to like more work than if I just done the first thing anyways. All it takes is 4 PNGs? Oh. Oh, what program is that, by the way? Because the method that I had kind of settled on was like this thing where you got to use you're gonna use Discord at the same time. So yeah, that sounds like you might be using something different. I don't know. Work is getting busy slinging that Weed. All right, Eddie. No problem. Do you know I live in a small town, and even this tiny, small, unassuming town has a dispensary. Was that what they call it? I don't even know. They have one. Just like it's like I can just walk there to the corner store, and there's a weed store just right there. But the demographic of this town is kind of interesting. I find that there's a lot of uh, a lot of older people, like retired people, but then there's like this growing community of like younger people that perhaps work from home, and they just decided to live in a smaller, less populated area. So you find that there's like kind of like stores that are more appealing to a younger kind of demographic, a younger urban hipster demographic or something like that. Oh, this is the website? Let me take a look at this website. I'm going to take a look on my second screen. It's a little easier for me to do that. VideoTube. So this is all supposed to be leather, and I think to really kind of sell that leathery look, we need to introduce textures and slashes and stress marks and stuff onto leather. If you've ever looked at like a really worn out leather belt, I guess that's kind of the look that we need to go to. The app suite for 2D digital puppets. It's free? Oh shit, I like free. Oh cool, I'll definitely take a look at that. I like free. VideoTube. Dry brush time. It might be dry brush time. I really like dry brushing. I think that it kind of gets a bad rap in in some circles just because like the results are sometimes kind of chaotic. But really, it's just a matter of control. If you can kind of control and deliberately work your dry brushing and place it where you want to, I think that the results will look good. It's when you kind of just go and just kind of go nuts on it, um, that that dry brush gets that reputation. And yeah, people want to see like your control. People want to see how you can control the brush. And it's like dry brushing is just another technique that you can show that, but it does have that reputation of just something that people don't really use too often. Whoa, $200 on some dry brushes. What are these brushes? Give me the link to that. My girlfriend yelled at me and threw her old makeup brushes at me. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard that that makeup brushes are actually super good for for dry brushing. I've never tried it myself, but yeah, there's like a stiff brush that you can use for dry brushing. That's kind of the method that I'm more used to be honest. And then there's like the soft brush dry brushing, uh, which yeah would be really good with makeup brushes. And damn, that makes me think I should go pick up some makeup brushes. That would be cool. Okay. There's the link. Let me see this. Let me see this. $200. Is it like for a few of them or just one? Whoa, Artist Opus Series D. They do look nice though. I see that the bristles are short. Yeah, because our makeup brushes like that too, with the short brushes. Because the makeup brushes that I've seen are more like fat. They kind of have like a fatter look to them. That is pretty pricey though, dude. Have you tried them? Do you like them? I mean, if you like them, then I guess it's fine. The thing about dry brushing though is that it's incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very damaging to the brush itself because you're effectively just smashing, like, you're just kind of like, right? And that can really wear out a brush. And I wonder maybe those brushes that you showed just now, maybe it'd be worth it if they're made in such a way that they can take the abuse. But that's sort of like the benefit of buying like a really cheap, inexpensive dry brush, is that you can smash it and really work it, and it's like it's cheap. Who cares if I bust it up? That's fine. Just get a new one, right? And a lot of Golden Demon painters that I follow, that I see, they have really nice brushes too, but they also will use really cheap disposable brushes too, for that very same reason, because they can just work it and just go ham on it, so to speak, and then they can dispose of it later, right? It only cost them however much each, and then they can just get back to painting. Okay, how much time has it been? It's been 1:24. I need to really work on the leather a whole lot more. We've effectively just kind of darkened it up, and now I think it's time to really get into the textures and stuff, as we were saying. So to do that, I'm going to use a lighter color, brown, possibly this, and we're going to start deliberately creating texture, not initially with a dry brush, or not straight up dry brushing, but we're going to try some stuff. But we're also going to get a drink, and I think we'll just hang out for a second before I get into this. Get my beverage, and we'll just chill for a second. Not slide. The shorter bristles and puffy formation is meant to take that kind of abuse. Oh, okay. They're definitely just makeup brushes, because that's how you apply certain makeups. Okay. Yeah, I've never bought a brush specifically for dry brushing. I just use like a crappy old brush and abuse the crap out of it. But yeah, I think I might want to buy a makeup brush and try that out. I would have to buy a model or try it on a model first, because it would be a new technique for me, so I'm not really sure how it would kind of work. Maybe I would do it on something like this. This is a mimic, a keg mimic for Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe this might be a prime opportunity to try that. But yeah, I've actually seen some really nice results with dry brushing. I'm not gonna say that it looks just like airbrushing, but I've seen stuff that looks pretty nice. Okay, my fan is going. I think I'm gonna crack open my window. Just get some air. Actually, you know what? Ugh. Let's work on this leather a bit more. But once we've finished that up, how about we switch gears, and work on Maydroid Chloe. If I don't mind a 30-minute informative ad. Dude, I used to watch those information ads, infomercials. Oh, Artist Opus? Oh, I've watched this guy's channel. It's really good. Really good stuff. I used to watch infomercials ad as a bored child with nothing to do in the summer. Let's just queue up that video for me to watch later tonight, or later today. What time is it? 2:49. I started a little This dude makes those brushes? Oh shit. I'm pretty sure I've seen his channel. This channel, I think so? Maybe. I didn't know he made those brushes. But yeah, I've seen some amazing results. Oh wow, I just saw a little bit of that just now. Very nice. You know, I did not realize that there was a Street Fighter 6 website already up. Have you seen this Not Slide? There's actually, or Eddie too, I know that he likes Street Fighter. There's actually already some information about the mechanics of the game. It's pretty interesting that that we have this much information already. I mean, at the end of the day, I haven't really fully comprehended all the information that they've put out just yet, just because I feel like I might understand it better if I play it. But that's pretty neat that they've got information out. Man, there's so many good painters on YouTube. It's crazy, and people that make models and stuff. That's why I'm slightly concerned about the control inputs. Oh, what exactly are you concerned about? I know that there's like some kind of easy mode, right? There's some sort of like easy mode controls. Ooh. And it's like easier to do the motions because they're doing complex and simple controls. Right. So yeah, Bacon was actually going over all of this yesterday, last night. I didn't see this website myself, and I probably never would have bothered to look at it if it weren't for Bacon, who kind of looked at it for me, for everyone on stream. Quarter circle forward plus punch equals Hadouken, or you can just press L2. Ooh, so it's a lot easier. But my understanding is that there is a drawback if you decide to go with the easy operation. Easy operation. Hold on. Don't they have that sound effect?
Easy operation.
A cooldown? And it's weaker? What? Really? No. So when Bacon was looking at this, he was saying that what they've done is that if you decide to go with easy operation, you actually lose 3 buttons. You only get like effectively medium, light, medium, and hard, and that's going to be some combination of a kick, a punch, or a punch. So you're losing the traditional light, medium, hard punches, light, medium, hard kicks, or if you're super old school, you know, jab. Was it like jab, forward, heavy, light kick, roundhouse, whatever, right? From the old controls. And I think that is a kind of an acceptable trade-off, because people new to the game, it's like, yeah, okay, you can do the Hadouken now. It's just one button, have fun, but you're also only getting 3 buttons. You know? So it means that like Ryu might not have like, you know, crouching medium kick, which is like a huge, super important button in his arsenal, right? Maybe they take that out, and then, you know, for any noob that's new to the game, eventually they're gonna want those buttons, right? So then they have to level up. That's my understanding, at least. Similar to how it worked in Granblue Fantasy? Okay, I haven't played that game. Did you like that game? I was kind of interested at first. But then it felt like, holy crap, there's like so many games coming out from Arc System Works that I can't even keep up with all of this. It's like, what the hell? So yeah, we're just kind of creating some slashes, some dots with the leather. All right, time to change the music. Not Slide, the game wasn't bad. I play the mobile one, so I'm already invested. The mobile game is like a second job sometimes. Isn't the mobile game... It's not a fighting game though, right? The mobile game? It's like a card-based RPG game of some fashion. And I think after this layer, I think we'll go in with some dry brushing, because it's actually not that pronounced, and I think introducing a bit of that randomness from dry brushing will actually kind of help. It'll help our cause. I mean, even just dotting the areas. And leather, when it's all worn out, it kind of gets frayed around the edges. It kind of gets distressed. Let's actually look up some reference for leather so I can actually not just randomly do this crap and make it up in my head. Let's do some research. Oh, it's like an RPG. Second job though. I mean, man, I've played games sometimes that definitely feel like that. It's just like, wait, am I having fun? Am I having fun, or is this just my job now? It's a train, hype train. I'm gonna be lazy and just leave the hype train be. Let's just old worn leather. Leather belt. Images. Yeah, so I'm looking at pictures of old worn leather belts. It's another thing that really helps is just looking at reference. And yeah, leather belts can kind of crack too. I don't know how I would do that. I don't know how I would get that look across, but cracked and frayed around the edges, that's a thing, which I think we can do, sort of, maybe. And let's do a bit of dry brushing. Let's get a bit more of this brown. Let's do this initial dry brushing pass, and we'll see from there. I think it's probably a good time to switch gears, but you know, sometimes I get just caught up in painting, and then it's like, let's go, let's do the next thing. Let's keep on going. So I very well might continue, and let's just initially kind of dab everywhere on this to introduce a bit of like worn and weathered, organic looking weathering. And we actually want to focus, eventually we want to kind of focus our weathering towards the edges of the belts and straps, because that's where the most distress will come. And there's the underside of the model here. I tend to not do as much detail on the underside, just because I know, like, you know, shadows are gonna fall there, so we don't need to pay too much attention to that area. And this skull, I do intend to paint this skull brown, and so I might start adding some paint there too. But yeah, there's actually a lot of texture building up now, even on the front. And I don't want to do too much more than what's already there. You'd be able to do a good tan for the cracking, or like an off-white probably. Yeah. When I was looking at some reference, it definitely seemed like a tan or off-white would be perfect for that. Do you know, I was watching someone paint on YouTube one of those, what are they called? It's like a little plastic model of a Japanese of a Jav star. I was watching someone paint that, and they had this method which was like really weird to me, where they were working on the skin and it was all painted with like a very kind of like a very bright kind of pink, right? And then they take that pink and they proceed to dabble. They proceed to dab the entire model with like reds, with a red, right, all over the skin. It was very blotchy looking, and I was like, wow, this is such a weird process. And then the next step was to take some blue and paint veins, right? You know, where veins would normally appear. So I'm like, man, where's this model going? This is crazy. But what they do then is they then cover the entire skin with a very thin layer of flesh, right? Like a flesh tone. Very thin layers, continually over and over again. And then it gives the impression of like underneath are the veins and underneath is like the blood, right? Because I guess that was the intention of splotching on all of that red. It was sort of like putting the red paint where like blood would collect, like on the fingertips, or you know, the thighs or knees and stuff. And eventually it actually really came together nicely. It was a very interesting process. I don't think I've, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Pretty neat. Okay. Let us get some of this brown. And how am I going to paint this on? What brush will I use? You know, the sponge could be useful too to kind of get that randomness as well, but I think it's too late. I've already used, this is like a pretty handy tool, just a sponge on the stick. If you want to get like a random specular pattern, I've done that before. Pretty handy, but let's see. Probably need more brown. And we're gonna build up to that. We're gonna build up to that tan kind of color. Gonna build up to that. Ooh, why does this brush feel like stiff? Did I not clean my brushes properly? That's another thing I need to buy actually, is some brush soap. I want to use the popsicle stick technique with my airbrush soon. What is that? I don't know if I've heard about that. That sounds interesting. I'm trying to imagine what that would be like, and I'm struggling to picture how does that work. It's just, again, we're just sort of dabbing it on more towards the edges now, the edges of the straps. And again, we're gonna kind of build up to that. And I always think it's a good idea to to do it a little bit at a time, even if it's not super noticeable. Like if it's too subtle, it's better to build up to the point where it's much more noticeable, even if it means taking several passes, even if it means you kind of have to walk away from it, for a couple hours even and come back to it later. I prefer building up the layers, building up the detail of the paint rather than like just making it super obvious leather right off the start, like finding that perfect leather color and just going all in on it. I think it's better to just slowly build up to that because you can't really it'll be hard to go back. That's the thing. If you go in really hard, you put a popsicle stick in front and it makes a good splatter pattern. Oh, okay, cool. Interesting. Just right in front of your the nozzle. Cool. So this is what I do for my painting and illustration. You just use one of these babies and you get your paint and then you just go like this. And you're just effectively flicking the paint particles onto the model. That's basically what I've done. If I need to get like a splatter pattern. Or like I said, lately I've been also using a sponge like this and just kind of dabbing. Basically the same thing, yeah. That's what's fun about this hobby is just learning different techniques, trying different things. I really enjoy that. Okay, we are slowly building up the detail, as I said. And it's kind of subtle. And I think now is the time. Let's use this. This is a Baylor Brown. It's kind of like a tannish looking thing, like a khaki maybe. Let's get some of this going. And this will be the last sort of pass at this belt before I before I take a break, and then we'll move on to working on Chloe, Maydroid Chloe. See how we fare with her. And I'm thinking this color is a little too strong. Let's try. This is actually the color that I used for the wood effect on my desk, on my retro desk model kit. Okay, I think it looks fine if we just sort of use it sparingly. And I think we can go lighter too. Another pass of doing this lighter. This is one of those things where I think that it's really only gonna kind of come through in photographs, even probably not very visible to the naked eye. But I don't think you want it to be too noticeable anyways. Gotta do some slashes too. And a lot of slashes kind of emanating from the edges. Yeah, this is the kind of thing where I feel like you could kind of work on it for a good while and just continually kind of building it up. And I do think that we need to get lighter for sure. Crisscrossing. This is actually where dry brushing might be a good idea. Let's do that actually. Okay, let's try. Let's try. What kind of brush should I use for this? Yes. You guys can't see, but I have like a bunch of brushes off to this side of the screen. A lot of different brushes. A lot of crappy ones, to be honest. I do have some nicer brushes, but I'm actually I'm kind of like reluctant to use them sometimes. So here we are. This I've only dabbed a very little paint, and I take these swipes, and we kind of just want to kind of get some random crisscrossing patterns. And I'm also trying not to get on the beard. I don't want to mess up the beard on this guy. And this brush is really frayed and kind of stiff, and it kind of helps to draw those lines a bit better. Ah, yeah, I think it's looking pretty good actually. Looks like a Todd McFarlane toy. They do that a lot with Todd McFarlane toys, like, or Mezco. They do a lot of dry brushing. And another painting technique that I've been trying lately also is stippling. And that's, you know, when you're normally brushing on paint, you're kind of like going like this onto the model, right? This motion. But stippling is like more like this motion, right? With the brush, of course. Just very small dots, and you're building up the layers with dots. And yeah, I've seen some really amazing results with that. I've been trying it with my lizardmen models, or Seraphon for Warhammer, and it looks interesting. It looks good. It looks organic looking, but I still need to practice a whole lot more. Now we're kind of going back and reinforcing these edges. We're not like drawing a straight line everywhere. We're kind of just picking some parts, and we're doing some of the edges, but not all of them, because if it looks uniform, if we're uniformly applying the lighter color on the edges, it won't look good, I don't think. And it's like we're kind of not even doing like straight brush strokes right now. It's kind of like little dots. And I think that kind of helps. Makes it look a little more real, maybe. Yeah, so we are almost done with this. This will be the last bit for today for this model. Then we'll take a break and move on to something else. I actually am really tempted to go one level higher, one level lighter. So maybe we'll do that actually. That's the thing about painting too, is that for me at least, I kind of get caught up in doing something, and I'm like, just one more thing. I think I want to do this. I want to do this. Just one more thing. And then suddenly I'm just like painting straight into the night. So let's do one more thing. One more thing. I'm like Columbo. All right, just one more thing. One last thing. If you can't see, I'm mixing the color right now. Oop, and some water got into the mix. It's not really ideal. Okay. This mix here has gotten a little warmer, a little pink, because the brown that I'm using has a bit of red. It's like a bit of a reddish brown. So some of that, once you introduce like a lighter color, some of that becomes pink, which I don't really like. And now we're just really doing very, very small areas. And I'd like to do a few slashes too. Okay. Just slowly working on this. And this whole idea of like kind of adding very small little details, little specks of lights and stuff, I want to apply that to the skin too. I haven't gone that far just yet on this model, but it's something that I first did with a Lord of the Rings troll that I painted not too long ago, and I really like the results of that. And I'm trying to kind of carry forward some of those lessons that I learned with that model onto this. They were of a similar presence. That model was also very large, by miniature standards, that is. And it just gave a really nice opportunity to paint skin tone, flesh tone, which is what I enjoy. I enjoy doing that. I mentioned this before, but when I bought this model, the guy at the store was like, "Ooh, there's a lot of skin on that one. It's gonna be hard." And I was like, I don't know. I like skin. I like to paint it. It's fine. Vanilla. How's it going, Vanilla? And Kentuan is here. Hello, Kentuan. You're really bored? Oh no. I don't know if being here in this stream will address your boredom or cure it. It might exacerbate your boredom, but nevertheless, welcome, welcome. And Kentuan too. What's up, Kentuan? What are you up to? What are you up to right now? I'm just painting leather. I'm trying to get the look of leather. The last time Set Vanilla was here, I was painting some wood, and now we've moved on from wood, and now we are working on leather. You're on your way to work, Clinton. Why did I say Clinton? Clinton. Sounds like an alien. I am Clinton. You're on your work. Cantwan. Blah. Vanilla, I hope so. I'm sure you'll entertain me. This looks interesting. Well, you know what? I have... Oh, I don't have it here. I need to have like an emergency entertainment button. Some kind of like thing that I can just default to and be like, I'm entertaining. I need to come up with some kind of reward. The entertainment button. And then I just take out keys and just dangle the keys. I just jangle some keys. But yeah, it's the leather. Let's see. Can we get a good look at the leather thus far? Yeah, if you look at the straps. Enhance. If you look at the straps, I've been working on them to try and get that worn out leathery look. And there is a bit of a shine, a gloss to it, which is due to the paint that I'm using, has a bit of shine to it. But I think if I hit it with some matte varnish when it's all done, I think it'll end up looking a little better, and the details will come out a little better. Maybe, hopefully. Have you put any time into Portal 2 lately? Vanilla? add any more to your 700 hours? Which I think is pretty amazing. I really like that game, but I don't know if I could put that much time. I think the closest to that number that I put into a game recently was Monster Hunter World. I put a really crazy, embarrassing amount of time into Monster Hunter World. And I'm like, oh boy. When Monster Hunter Rise was announced, I was like, shoot. That looks... I kind of want to play it. But the thought of putting, I don't know, however many hours into that game, into a Monster Hunter game again, I can't do it. And periodically, I actually turn on Monster Hunter World. I throw it on, and I think to myself, yeah, let's jump in, let's play, let's go, right? And once the hub world loads up, I just turn it off again because I'm like, no, I can't do this. This is... I don't think I can do this actually. Not yet. Not yet, but it'll happen. It'll happen soon. But that's pretty cool, like the fact that like that game has really caught on with you. You've latched onto it. Speaks to you. And the whole GLaDOS thing. It's pretty awesome that you have a celebrity on your stream. Celebrity video game character. Kentwan. The most hours I put on a Gnat, a game, was Need for Speed Underground 2. 400? That's a lot. And you beat it 6 times? Damn. Yeah, Need for Speed. Did you ever play Burnout, though? Burnout Paradise? That was a good one. Very similar, I think. And again, I'm just dabbing the lines here. I'm just trying to get a little bit of this lighter color onto the edges of the straps here to communicate the look of distressed leather. And we're kind of doing it in a very blotchy manner. We're not drawing straight lines. We're just kind of kind of running a dabbing line across. And occasionally we want to kind of get some kind of, make some marks like this, some straight lines that start from the edges. And they need to kind of come from different angles. My one concern doing this is that once I put the layer of top coat on, it might kind of disappear some of the detail. I've noticed that about applying top coat, is that occasionally, not occasionally, it will happen that your colors will kind of become a little more dull, a little darker, and so it might be a good idea to woohoo, that was a thick line, to kind of draw your lines and paint, not draw your lines, to paint with like brighter colors in mind if you intend to top coat your models, because it will kind of get darker, right? So if you keep that in mind at the start, then your models will look a little better at the end. Okay, so played Burnout Revenge, but not enough, Kentuan. Yeah, it's a Burnout Revenge. What was I talking about? Burnout Paradise Island. I think that's what it was called. Vanilla Burnout Revenge was my favorite racing game when I was a kid. Destroying opponents? Hell yeah. Oh my gosh. That wasn't, is that the one with the mode where it was like, imagine like you're kind of like in a bowling alley throwing the ball into pins. However, instead of a ball, you're a car, and instead of an alley, it's the street, and the pins are other cars, and you just want to like kind of crash, and you get points for like doing combos on crashing. Why isn't that a thing? Just make a separate game like that. If they just made a separate game like that, I would be down. Ba, ba, ba. Need for Speed Payback has that aspect too, where you can destroy police cars. Vanilla, is there any rulebook to painting the characters, or you just paint them however you want? Yeah, you can. So it's actually both. There's actually both. So if we take this model for example, this is Borborgimos from the card game Magic the Gathering. I'm sure all of you guys have possibly heard of Magic the Gathering before. However, the actual character Borborgimos from the game is colored completely differently. He's kind of like this orange ogre looking character. So if you imagine his skin being kind of like a more yellowish orangey tone, and his beard is fiery red, right? So if I wanted to adhere to that character, I would follow that, right? I would just kind of copy that. But because I don't really care about Borborgimos from Magic the Gathering, I just got this guy because I thought he was big and cool. I was like, let's paint him like a frost giant from Dungeons and Dragons or whatever else. So that's kind of was the plan that I had set out, was to instead make this guy look more like a frost giant. And they do make frost giant models, but I didn't see that at the time. I saw Borborgimos, so that's why we are here painting it this way. Now, in the world of tabletop gaming like Warhammer and stuff, right? There is a bit of what's the word I'm looking for? There is a bit of a rule book, as you've put it, Vanilla, to painting these characters and things. So if we take, for example, this is an Eldar weapons platform for 40k, for Warhammer 40k, the Eldar army. And if you recall, like if any of you've played Dawn of War, Eldar are a race of space elves, effectively in the 40k universe. And these there's several. They don't live on planets; they live on craft worlds. Sorry if this is getting too nerdy for you guys, but each craft world has a certain color scheme, almost like how certain different armies from different countries have different like uniforms and colors for their uniforms. So this is the color scheme that I chose. That was from the rule book, from the army book of the Eldar. This blue and yellow color scheme and the iconography come from the craft world Alatok. So, and it doesn't necessarily confer any bonuses to you like when you're playing the game, or at least not all the time. And here's another work in progress of another model that's going to be from the same craft world. So in that sense, yeah, there's kind of a rule book to paint models if you intend to paint models with the purpose of using them in a game. Maybe you'd want to use the setting as an inspiration and the lore as inspiration to follow certain paint schemes. And the same applies to just any model like this. Like, maybe I really like Borborgimos being an orange giant dude, then I would have painted him that way. Vanilla, I see. It's nice that there are some guides if you want to follow them. I guess people who play Magic and Warhammer are really into it. Painting characters officially, I mean, yeah. I think you'll find that there's people that kind of like want to do their own thing, or they want to follow it. It's kind of like a mixed bag. I've seen like Hello Kitty Space Marines, for example. All sorts of nutty color schemes. And I just noticed there was another leather strap here which I didn't paint. So let's quickly do a bit of detail on this before we move on. Yeah, you'll find people just kind of, it's a mix. When I started out painting, I definitely wanted to copy how the examples were in the magazines or on the official paint job or box or the websites. But after a certain point, you're kind of like, yeah, let's just do whatever. Or even yeah, when I first started out, there were times where I didn't necessarily care about the lore or whatever, so I was like, yeah, they're gonna be green now. We're just doing a bit of a crappy job on this one strap. I forgot to paint it. I should have done this at the same time. We'll do it better later. Okay. Just getting some detail. Actually, that doesn't even look too bad. Do y'all play role-playing games? No. You know what? I actually have like the starter rule set for D&D. I might even have like 2 different editions of it, but I've never actually gotten around to playing it. Like computer role-playing games, yeah, I played a couple. Some of the classics like Baldur's Gate and stuff, and even somewhat recently I've played Pillars of Eternity and those kind of games, which are pretty fun. But like real legit D&D, like sitting around with a bunch of guys and gals rolling dice, I've never done that. I feel like I might have fun doing that, but yeah, I just have never done that. Have you played stuff like that? Oh, Kentuan's taking off for your work. Okay, have a good day at work, pal. Catch you later. Do you play like pen and paper RPGs, Vanilla? Okay. Whew. I think we need to continue. I've said that I wanted to move on to a different project. I wanted to move on to something else, but now I'm realizing that I need to do a bit more on this, on the leather, while I still have the paint fresh. Might as well, might as well do it. Yeah. Well, we can always go back. You can always go back and do a bit more work on this. It's not that big of a deal. And we can even go higher. I feel like we might need to go a little higher too with the leather. But also, there is this notion of overdoing things. So yeah, maybe I'll stop because when things are going well and I'm like, this is working well. I like how this looks. So let's just keep on working on it. That's the danger. You're in the danger zone. I'm in the danger zone. Because what can happen is I've no longer, I've lost sight of what I'm doing and I can kind of just overwork things. And then it's a little hard to take it back sometimes with painting. So I want to stop myself before overworking as I continue to overwork things, as I continue to paint. So let's stop. Let's stop. 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 Let's stop. Okay. It's hard. It's hard sometimes. You're just kind of in a zone and you're just working away at things. Vanilla, really basic stuff with some friends. It's too complex for me, but it's fun to hang out. Yeah, you know what? That's the impression that I get. Like more than playing the game itself. One time I was at a hobby store, uh, just browsing. I've never been to this hobby store. I haven't been there too often. And they sell all sorts of stuff. They sell video games. They sell comics. They sell statues, Warhammer stuff, blah blah blah, Gunpla, and they sell D&D stuff. As a matter of fact, they have like a whole room with tables set up for people to just play D&D or whatever else, like Warhammer. And the one time I was at this store, the most recent time that is, there were a couple of teenagers just hanging out, just talking about school, just talking about, I was I just was overhearing them. As I was browsing the miniatures and stuff, and they were talking about their teachers, they were talking about their classes and stuff. But interspersed between their conversation was like, okay, I'm gonna cast magic. So, anyways, Miss Dolores, like, she's just a pain in the ass in math. I don't think she knows what she's doing. Oh, damn, I missed. And now I'm gonna go look at this treasure. Like they were just going on, and it was. I would say it was like 70% just talking and chatting about stuff, and then 30% periodically playing D&D, and it was all theater of the mind. They were all just talking. There wasn't like miniatures or a grid or anything, and it was it was at that very moment, and this was fairly recently. That was the moment, like so many years later for me, after hearing about D&D for the first time, I realized, oh, okay, it's just hanging out. It's just hanging out with your friends. It's just, it that was the one thing that made me understand better than any kind of like YouTube video I could have watched about getting into D&D or whatever. It was like, yeah, you're just chatting. You're just chatting and you're just rolling some dice and just doing whatever. Hobby stores are magic. Yeah, I really enjoy visiting hobby stores. The ones around here, they're really cool and they're really helpful too. Some like the good ones are the ones that are really helpful, where people that work there, they just know what they're talking about and they can give you really good advice. I really appreciate that because, you know, for as much as I like to paint, there's still a whole lot of stuff that I don't know about modeling and painting and stuff. And so, yeah, the folks that work there, the good stores, that is, they're really helpful and they're really into it themselves, so they can provide some advice. the best thing is you can play with just pen and paper if you really want to, and it's still so fun. Yeah, damn, man. The other thing is I feel like it's hard to like get your actual friends into RPGs. Do you find that like you kind of have to almost like find new people that are into it? I don't know. I found my guess. I've never tried it myself, but if I try to get like my IRL friends into D&D, I don't know if it would go well. I don't know. We might just end up totally goofing off and playing video games instead. Let's take one last quick look at the leather, and I think it's looking pretty okay. It's definitely got a lot of texture to the leather, but at this point, I think it's a good time to move on to a different part of the model. Perhaps the axe needs a lot of special attention, so that might be next on the menu. But after the axe, really, the only thing left is the skull, the major thing that is. There's this bracelet here, his friendship bracelet filled with skulls and bones. We need to do that. And of course the base. The base, which I need to do. And I've bought this right here. This is Technical Valhallan Blizzard. And can I open this up? It's if you can kind of see, let's see. It's snow. It's model making snow. It has this weird kind of grainy, gritty texture to it. And that's the plan, is to kind of cover the base with rocks and vegetation, and then slather this crap on to make it look like a snowy base. And then I want to put flecks of powdered snow onto the model itself. Not a lot, but a bit of snow on the model, so it looks like it's actually snowing. I've said snow a billion times. Looks fancy? Cool. Thanks. Yeah, it's coming along pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it. We've still got a little ways to go. I actually wanted to finish this last month, but here we are in June. So hopefully I'll finish this soon. I've got some plans next month, so I kind of want to get a lot of stuff done before next month. But I think we're gonna take a break. So let's cue up some music. Ba, ba, ba. What's good? Let's get some Persona. Let's get some Persona, and I'll be on break for just a few minutes. And when we get back, we'll do something else. We'll build a model. All right. So see you then.